back to this week's Whole Flip Dump. My name is Robin.
Hello, my name is Alex.
And we are going to review the last 3 weeks' choices. So each week we choose a token to flip, a token to hold, and a token to dump. And we're going to look back at the ones we held and do a little bit of a trip down memory lane and work out whether it was a good decision, however many weeks, 1, 2, or 3 weeks ago, and what that token's been doing in the meantime, and hopefully get a bit of insights that might help other people along the way. But first, I am going to share some news with you, Alex, and just get your reactions. The first one actually is Solana based. So hopefully you've got some Solana knowledge that you might be able to share. So Solana NFTs have been doing moderately well, I think. This is a chart showing Solana NFT USD volume over the last few months. And you can see that we were doing kind of around 500K, $1 million on each of TensorSwap and Magic Eden during 2023. And then basically at the turn of the year, this year, 2024, we started to see a big uptick in volume, which has generally, like the trend line seems to be going up. So I'm wondering, what do you think, Alex? Is now a good time to drop a Solana NFT? Do you still have your Solana NFTs? Like, what's the status of the market from your perspective?
Yeah, great question. This is something that I've actually been trying to analyze for a bit, because we all know, and we spoke about this in previous sessions, that Solana meme coins were like one of the most valuable niches in crypto since the start of this year, and so was wondering whether that could be a precursor to a new NFT, Solana NFT summer. So it is interesting to see how that's reflecting to the NFT volume. In terms of Solana NFTs, I do have still a lot of them, but because they all went to nothing, so nobody wanted to buy them from me. But it is good news because, you know, a lot of the value in Solana is behind the NFTs as well. I think that the NFT community is great. So yeah, I mean, it's fantastic news, to be honest. Something that has been happening is that a lot of these transactions have been failing. It seems that Solana reached record highs in terms of failure of non-vote transactions. So it's very interesting to see that while the transactions are still failing, people are still persistent and trying to trade. So that tells you a lot about the value of the community, the users finding great, user experience to a certain extent, of course, apart from failing transactions. And it's good to see that these volumes keep going up despite all those network issues. So yeah, I guess great news, no? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to forget that not so long ago, Solana, the Solana Sol coin was around $10, and nowadays we're trading near what is it, 200? Let's check CoinGecko. So the latest price for Solana is $181, and that's gone up significantly in the last, even the last 3 months. Look at that, we've gone from 80 to, it's just peaked over 200 briefly, not so long ago. And so is this a sign of, I guess this could be multiple things. This could be the Solana NFT market picking up after the meme coin phase or during the meme coin phase. I don't think it's stopped yet. And maybe it's just a natural progression of things. The Solana ecosystem as a injection of new capital. People are making money on the coin itself, the main Solana coin, and then they push that through into meme coins, and then the people that have made their millions on meme coins then buy NFTs. And maybe we're seeing the start of the NFT craze on Solana, who knows? But yeah, like you said, failed transactions are a problem still, I think. There was I don't know where I saw this graph, but there was a graph that showed failed transactions on Solana, and yeah, it's pretty significant. So there are technical issues, but I guess with more volume, you're going to get more failed transactions. It's just the way it works.
Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter saying it says more about the blockchain itself if the transactions fail because there's way too much adoption compared to other blockchains where no transactions fail, but because there's absolute no adoption. So that just tells you that, you know, just people still decide to forgo those issues, right? You still have your failed transaction, and instead of just complete quitting and migrating to another blockchain that might be a bit more reliable, you still persist and try to, you know, get that transaction completed. So, you know, I think
Exactly.
it's good news for it. Yeah.
It's much easier to fix failed transactions than it is to fix a lack of volume or a lack of use of your network. So it's a good problem to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the next little bit of news that I've got for you is ThirdWeb. They have recently launched their buy with crypto option. They're pushing kind of integration with payments funnels and basically making the process of paying via crypto, via credit card easier when you're using the ThirdWeb wallet integration, which means that if your website, your marketplace, your mint page uses the ThirdWeb Wallet Connect, you automatically have access to this new feature, which lets you buy from any token to any token, which is great because if you're selling an NFT on Optimism and your user is mostly based on Polygon, they've got all their funds on Polygon, they don't have to go through the painful process of bridging, of moving their assets across, which can take ages, and actually a lot of people don't know how to do at all. A lot of people are just working within one ecosystem and they've absolutely no interest at all in using another one. So it means it opens up markets to other people. Instead of just selling to your community on, let's say, Polygon, you now have access to everybody else on Base, on Ethereum main chain, on all these other networks, and it's just one click. And ThirdWeb obviously take a cut of that. So they bridge the assets, they take a cut. But also they're giving part of that, the option of giving part of that back to the developer. So you as a app owner or a dApp owner can earn a percentage of every transaction that occurs through your dApp if they're using the ThirdWeb pay with crypto feature, which I think is, or buy with crypto, which I think is a great incentive for any developer to set this up on their website.
Yeah, I personally love this because, again, last week we were talking about the lack of interoperability and how difficult it is to move tokens from one layer 2 to another layer 2. And I find it crazy that actually it's a company that's got nothing to do with these networks that is resolving their problem. It's brilliant. I actually really like it. When I first saw this, I was like, this is exactly the solution that we should have been able to speak about during last week's episode, because this resolves a major issue that Ethereum and the whole ecosystem has. And I find it brilliant. I think it's fantastic. And also the fact that, you know, developer gets a cut for using it, I think is yet another way of not just resolving the issues in interoperability, but also adding that, you know, Web3 incentives, right? The I don't know, build to earn or connect to earn type of thing. It's like they're building their own something to earn that definitely is going to, you know, hopefully will have a great impact, because I think it's great value that they're bringing to the ecosystem.
Yeah, exactly. I couldn't agree more. And like, this has been a long time coming. There have been smaller projects that have done similar things, but this is a major player in the blockchain space, bringing this to a huge number of people, because the ThirdWeb Wallets Connect option, the ThirdWeb Wallets, is very popular now, and you get it free as part of it. So there's no need to upgrade, which is great. So I think that's going to make things easier for developers, for end users, and just increase volume and transactions across all chains. And then the final bit of news I've got is OpenSea announcing that they are allowing developers to, or allowing people, collection owners, to use ERC-721C which is a new contract standard from Limit Break, which allows creators to enforce royalties or creator earnings on OpenSea, which has been a sore point for creators for a long time now. And they used to have on-chain fees, or rather, they used to have creator fees on OpenSea, but then there was this big war between OpenSea and Blur, where Blur were allowing high volume traders to basically get around creator fees, and OpenSea was losing huge amounts of market share, so they had to follow suit. And as a result, now creator fees are very rarely paid, or it depends on the collection, but creators are not getting paid anywhere near as much as they were, and it became less of a business model for creators to release their art on the blockchain as NFTs. So that kind of happened at the end of the bull market anyway, but I think that was probably a cause for a lot of people leaving the space, because one of the original promises was like creator royalties. That was one of the things that people were told. If you drop your art on a blockchain, you have control over royalties. Every time something gets traded, that you get a small share of that trade. You can continually earn from your art way after it's been originally sold, which is obviously not possible in the traditional art world. But this is a step towards, I think, getting it back. I think there's been a lot of attempts to do this, but this is actually a really promising innovation, and it just allows people to have way more control over the contract, over the way that it's traded. And it also allows for some interesting little mechanics, like you can do things like allow the person that bought the NFT to share in some of that royalties. So maybe the first person that buys it gets a percentage of the royalties for the rest of the life cycle of that NFT. It creates these programmable royalties, which makes for some potentially interesting use cases in the future. But I'm interested to see what the future holds for this. What do you think, Alex? Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think this is brilliant. And what I'm surprised though is that it took this long to actually find a solution to this, because the whole Blur issue with creator royalties, and then OpenSea also just stopping the creator royalties and all that happened, what, like over a year ago?
Yeah, it was about 18 months, I guess.
Yeah, quite a while back. And I'm surprised it's taken this long to actually bring up a solution. I'm not sure if it's being done because now there's a lot more attention in the crypto space, and they're trying to call back all those builders and creators saying, hey, we messed up last time, but here we go, there's a solution for the new bull market. I'm not sure if it's that, or if it generally took them over 18 months to come up with a solution that would protect creators at the end of the day. So I think it's brilliant. I think it's good that they're coming up with solutions to this. And yeah, because hopefully more projects are going to move to this, and more project founders and artists are going to be able to protect their creator royalties. And yeah, I guess it's very good news, I think.
Yeah, we'll see what the adoption is like. The next step is to see how many people actually use this, because we've seen attempts at this in the past which just haven't really got much adoption. And OpenSea had their own attempt to fix this not so long ago, which has since been rolled back. So it's really about what the community thinks. So we'll see, and hopefully other platforms will start to adopt this as well, and we'll see some growth.
Yeah, good news.
Cool. Yeah, good news. So I guess we can jump into the reviews of those tokens that we mentioned earlier in the episode. The first one of which is Propbase. This was a hold from, I think, 3 weeks ago. This was this was last week. Propbase. Let's see if we can find the description again. I think it's a real-world assets token. Yes, it's the property thing that we saw last week, where you can buy into the property markets, and in theory, you can buy a share of some property. But I think the reason we were a bit hesitant to go all in on Propbase was the fact that it's not launched yet. So it'd be interesting to know if they've actually done anything yet. But let's just quickly look at the price before we do that. The price the last, let's say, 3 months. Yeah, it's continued to hold at, I guess, what it was around last week. So it's gone up a little bit, holding still at around 25 cents. So yeah, good decision, I think, so far. It's not been very long, but so far. And let's see if they've done anything.
I'm looking at the roadmap on the website as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, guessing they're just sharing a lot of content, trying to pump up the token as well, and try to ride, ride that wave. But I'm just noticing something here on the website. So let me pull that up. Because this is their basic roadmap for this year. And according to this, they're still going to be doing a new website revamp. And then once they do that, it's when they'll move over to a tokenization engine. So it still looks like it's quite far behind, you know, what it's reflecting on the token. It seems like the product is just simply not there. So I'm wondering if they're going to be able to keep it up with the token price, or if this is just, you know, an initial excitement due to, you know, everything that it's happening with the RWAs. So yeah, I'm just noticing that that roadmap is not extremely what's the word I'm looking for? There's not very ambitious, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like a really early stage project. How long have they been around? Let's see. Oh, they've been since the end of last year, but it seems like they've got some good backing. They've obviously raised quite a bit from their token, and maybe some of this has been priced in, but if they continue to deliver on that roadmap, I wouldn't be surprised if this price continued to go up. And the real test will be once they start to do that tokenization of asset. Like that is the problem that everybody's trying to solve. And if they manage to solve it, we're going to see some huge injections of capital. But yeah, that's a big if.
Okay, brilliant. And apart from that, what else have they been announcing apart from, you know, sharing loads of content?
I think, as far as I could tell, it was just content on their Twitter. So yeah, nothing big that's happened since we last approached that. But we'll continue to watch that, and maybe we'll come back to it at another time. Yeah. Any other thoughts on prop base, Alex?
No, I think that, you know, it's been not enough time for us to see any particular changes at this stage. So, you know, it's good to see that there hasn't been any major crashes since we covered it. So yeah, I guess we can look into the next one, which I believe is Ondo.
Ondo, yes. Let's see. So Ondo, we reviewed 2 weeks ago, I believe. And so that would have been kind of mid-March, maybe. So actually, it's gone up again since then. I guess when we reviewed it was around here, so that would have been 60 cents. It briefly hits $1, just over, and now it's settled more at 0.8. So yeah, good growth, I'd say, in terms of price action. Can we remember what Ondo does? That's always the question. It was only 2 weeks ago, but we see so many tokens that it's difficult to keep track. I've got a feeling
so they're tokenizing. Yeah, they're tokenizing bonds, U.S. Treasuries, and U.S. dollars as well. So yeah, I mean, I personally really liked this project, and they were backed by BlackRock, or they've got a partnership with BlackRock. But I'm guessing that, you know, it could have very easily be that someone just sent them a few tokens to the wallet, like we saw last time, right? So
backed by BlackRock now no longer means what it used to mean. It just means that somebody has sent their tokens to the BlackRock wallet on chain.
Yeah, our holders. Yeah, so apart from that, yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting project. This project is live, at least with the US dollar yield and also with US treasuries. So they're tokenizing those two, and they're trading individually. So it's, I think it's very good news, and it's great to see that it keeps growing. It means that there is interest and adoption on this project that at least has a product to offer to holders.
Yeah, exactly. It's all around this BIDL fund, which is the BlackRock the BlackRock fund that's bringing on-chain US. It's now possible to swap between, I think, BUIDL tokens and USDC, or at least it will be soon. And that's going to be huge because BlackRock is one of the, if not the largest asset holders in the world. So it's going to be a lot of access to TradFi, and very good for the ecosystem. So yeah, definitely one to watch. I wouldn't be surprised if we still see this one going up as well. It's kind of a no-brainer for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And just at the back of what you're sharing there on that tweet, we've got this part, which is what's really interesting. It's exactly what's said on that tweet, is that you can trade short-term US treasuries 24/7. And at the moment, these treasuries can only be traded Monday to Friday within trading hours. And this is what's really, really interesting. Because I'm guessing it's going to add particularly a lot of adoption, a lot of volatility as well. Because you might have these treasuries being traded Saturday and Sunday, going up and down in value. And then let's say on Saturday and Sunday, the token itself goes up, but then you find out that on Monday, they've just crashed. Then it's going to be really interesting to see how those two activities, the one that's tokenized and the one that happens during trading hours, how that correlates, and see how that whole formula stays stable, or whether people are just going to be losing a buttload of money.
Yeah, this
feels like a lot of money. Hopefully,
this feels like the start of like some serious integration with TradFi. It's like we've been waiting for this for a long time, but now you can buy or you can buy a proxy for treasuries. Not long, I guess, before potentially properties and property funds are available, and then maybe even stocks or other securities. It's moving pretty fast now, and I think we're just going to see more and more of this, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. So, yeah, good to see. I'm a big fan of this. Again, for full transparency, for anybody watching right now, remember that we do not hold any of these tokens. We're not promoting them. We're not sponsored by them. Nothing like that. It's just pure learning, and it's just for research and development purposes, really. So I'm personally a big fan, but just do your own research. And yeah, we're not endorsing any of these tokens at any point.
Yeah, exactly. Two amateurs doing a vague analysis based on very little time and very little information. So if you actually want to invest in any of these, then definitely do your own research. And the final one we chose, which was the furthest away in terms of time, this must have been 3 or 4 weeks ago now. Let's see how we did. It's Unizen, or ZCX. We saw a little dip at the beginning of April this month, and then it's gone back. So actually this one will probably be more or less flat, I guess, in the last 3 weeks, or maybe slightly up. But yeah, it's not been doing quite as well as the others. Still upward, still green, but yeah, we're not seeing quite as much. This one went quite a long way back, I think. Went back to 2021. So this is, and look at that, we old highs of $6-7, and now it's really sunk. Can you remember anything about Unizen, Alex?
Let me say I don't. I'm on the website, and it looks like it's so it says here is cross-chain enabled swapping. So I'm assuming there's something like an aggregator, like 1inch or KuiberSwap. That's what I'm understanding from it, but I cannot remember for the life of me. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it does look like it's it is an aggregator.
Yeah, I guess this feeds into what we were saying earlier about cross-chain compatibility and joining up the dots when it comes to investing in different blockchains. As we've said many times, like the experience from the end user should not be one of choosing a blockchain or even knowing you're using a blockchain. It should be a seamless experience that is very easy to use, and it should be the platforms or the projects that are really getting involved in the nitty-gritty. So stuff like stuff like what ThirdWeb are doing with the cross-chain swapping through their wallets, and Unizen is they're fighting the good fights, and hopefully we'll get to a place not too far in the distant future where you don't need to know that you're on Solana. You don't need to buy a base NFT. You just buy an NFT, or you just connect your wallet to whatever. Wallets as well, maybe they'll be abstracted. Maybe we won't have wallets in the future. We'll just have our phones or our smart glasses or whatever it is.
Or Twitter accounts.
Maybe, maybe, yeah.
Now that there's going to be some crypto payments enabled at some point, so who knows?
Yeah, true.
But yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Love the update. So what would you hold, flip, or dump, Robin? Out of this, of course.
Yeah, that's a good question. I think I'm going to choose Ondo to hold, because I think this is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what they can actually bring on, and they seem to be leading some of the charge, at least when it comes to treasuries and bringing these financial vehicles onto the blockchain. And there's just a huge wealth of stuff that could be transferred. That it's not easy. It's a very difficult technical challenge and regulatory challenge, because every time you bring something like this, there are new things that you have to make sure you, like, lots of boxes to tick, lots of people to make happy. And the SEC are always going to be, like in the US, going to be hounding people for this kind of thing. But piece by piece, we're going to bridge these gaps, and this is a step in the right direction. So my hold is going to be Ondo. My flip, I think I'm going to flip Propbase, simply because I think there's more scope for growth. I don't know what's been priced in yet in terms of the actual roadmap. It's very early, so I think if they can even solve just a small part of that roadmap and get further along, I also think we'll see some increase in the price. And then Unizen, I'm going to dump that because I don't know, like, what they've done in terms of actually fixing these problems. I don't know how much further they've got along. It doesn't look like the price action has really improved that much. Yeah, based on very little information there. But I'm gonna dump Unizen. Sorry, Unizen. What about you, Alex?
I 100% agree with everything you just said. I will hold Ondo because, again, it's a real-world asset project, and they do have a product. So it's active, it's up and running, so they're very well set ahead of a potential upcoming bull market. So I love that, and it's great to see that it's working. They're going to launch a new product, which is the US Treasuries, and I'm guessing there's more to come. So Ondo looks great. Propbase, just for speculative purposes, it's another RWA, and I'm also a big fan of that kind of project. But they do not have any product, so it's just for speculation, potential flip, buying now and then selling a few percentages up. That'll be great. And then Unizen, because being honest, I don't fully understand the value of what they're doing, especially knowing that there's other competitors that are being used quite a lot, and the token prices of those competitors are also doing way better. So yeah, the summary is to hold Ondo, to flip Propbase, and to dump Unizen.
Yeah, I think going back to Propbase just quickly for a second, it's an easy use case. It's an easy sell to anyone that wants to invest in the property market, instead of like having to get a mortgage, get a deposit, go through all those kind of loopholes and stress and everything. You just put some money into a property fund. I mean, you can do that at the moment through various providers through TradFi, but on chain, that's not really possible yet, as far as I know. But it'd be great to have some kind of decentralized property funds or something that you can put your hard-earned crypto into. So if they can fix that, I think they're going to see a lot of demand.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'm not sure if this was the project that was just collecting deposits from users to then buy the properties. Do you remember we looked into a project like that? I'm not sure if it's this one, but
yeah, there was another one. I think you're right, a while ago. We've got to go
Okay.
back and find out what happened to them, because maybe they've joined the scrap heap of Web3 projects, or maybe they've cracked it. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know. We should do an episode where we just go back and find all of the property-based funds that have failed.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Cool. But apart from that, I think this is great. It's good to see projects doing well, and also good to see that there's solutions to some of the Ethereum issues, like we saw during the news. So yeah, more next week.
Yeah, so far, like the last 3 weeks, everything's been going up. So it's been easy for us to pick the winners. It's much easier when everything goes up. But yeah, I think there was a huge spike with Ethereum and Bitcoin this morning as well. So it's a good time to be reviewing tokens. But more next week. We'll do another fresh batch next week. Let us know if you have any suggestions or like topics you want us to cover, and we'll go through some news articles as well. So join us then. In the meantime, thank you, Alex, and
thank you, Robin.
See you next one.